and welcome to a remembrance session with the Living Memory Association. Today we are very happy to be sharing some wonderful photographs and memories of christenings with you, and we will also remember some Scottish christening traditions. This beautiful photograph is from Laura Talbot, and it shows a mother holding a baby wearing an elegant flowing christening gown. As you know, a christening is a religious ceremony to welcome and bless a baby. For some Christian religions, the baby is initiated in the church congregation through a baptism, where water is sprinkled or poured over the baby's head, or in some cases, the baby is immersed in the water. But of course, many of the traditions that occur on this day are borrowed or influenced from other religions or non-religious practices, and of course from other countries. A multicultural country like Scotland means there will be many influences from immigrant communities or from those who have lived abroad and returned. Can you remember some Scottish christening traditions? Some of those that we will talk about today are family gathering, the gown or the shawl that the baby wears, the gifts, including the christening piece, and we will look at some memories of godparents too. Of course, family is very important on this day, and a baby's christening is often the first time that many of the family will have met the new baby. This lovely photograph is of John and Christina McNee with their granddaughter Christine Bell, who gave and donated the picture. She tells us about the christening. She says, "I was born at home on the 21st of September 1938 and was baptized nearly 2 months later at St. Michael's Parish Church on Sunday, after which the family and friends went to a party. The shawl was knitted by my grandmother and family. The christening gown is still in good order." She also remembers that after lunch at Terrace, we went on to the Crescent, walking with the Pram, where more people joined us at a christening party. Christening ceremonies are practiced by both Protestant and Catholic churches, and of course, every religion will have particular ways of welcoming a baby to the world and to the family and the community. This lovely image was given to us by Roberta Grote, and it shows her family and friends on the day of her christening. After leaving the church, families and friends gather in the parents' or the grandparents' home to hold a christening party. This photograph shows 3 generations of the Purvis family in their living room on the day of Lynn Purvis's christening. Special care was given to making the baby's christening shawl or gown, and it was often passed to other children in the family. This beautiful photo shows Maurice Knight, the son of Sarah Knight, and the picture was taken in Edinburgh in 1958. The christening shawl, a work of beautiful art, was made of cashmere. Bertha Henretti had her first child in Gorgie, and her second was born in Zimbabwe, and she used a very special shawl for their christening. She said, "We used a christening shawl made special for my eldest by his great-grandmother, who due to cataracts was nearly blind. She'd given up knitting, but started again when we gave her the news a baby was on the way." Maureen Little also had a special shawl made for her daughter. She said, "This is a photo of the christening shawl my mum made for my daughters. She kept the pattern and gave it to me, but this is beyond my abilities as a knitter." The Scottish tradition of handselling was also a way of welcoming a baby and of wishing them good luck. Here's what the Scottish National Dictionary says about handselling. It was a gift bestowed to commemorate an inaugural occasion, event, or season. For example, the beginning of the year, the first visit to a friend's new home, or the commencement of a new undertaking, the wearing of new clothes, or so on, with the idea of bringing good luck to the recipient. With this ritual, new wee ones are given best wishes for the start in life. Christine Muir remembers that Hansel also refers to the gift itself. She said, "There was also the Hansel, a silver coin, which was always placed under the pillow of a new baby, for luck both to the baby and the giver." One of the customs that many of our visitors have spoken about is for folk to put money in a baby's pram. Here are some of the memories that people have shared with us. Meg Wallace says, "I remember the first time you met a new baby, you tucked a coin in the pram." Maureen Little says, "I still put money in the pram when I meet a new baby for the first time. When I took my older daughter to my mum's house for the first time, my sister took her out in the pram. It was the first day of the first communions in the village, and she visited a few of the family celebrations and came back with a lot of money in the pram." Avra Morton also remembers this tradition. She said, "My mum gave a christening piece to the first man she saw on the way to my christening in Southleith Parish Church in the early 60s. I repeated the tradition at my son's christening in Lanarkshire in the early 90s. He was baptised in my christening shawl, which an aunt of my mum's had knitted. And yes, I remember walking down the walk with my gran, pushing my cousin in his pram for the first time. By the time we arrived home, the pram was loaded with money." A similar custom was the giving of a christening piece. On the way to the baptismal service, the godmother selects a passing child to receive a gift of a half-crown coin embedded between two digestive biscuits, and it was held together by butter. Some families used bread or put a coin in a piece of cake instead, or whatever was in the house. This idea is to bring good fortune to the baby and to the recipient too. If the baby was a girl, the gift was given to a man or a little boy. If the baby was a boy, it was given to a woman or a little girl. Nan Courtney remembers that it was the godmother's duty to make up the christening piece. She said, "The christening pieces that I remember were made of Abernethy biscuits, thick with butter and spread with carvey, and it was put in a poke and a piece of silver, sometimes half a crown, sometimes a sixpence. It all depended on what the people could afford, and you had to accept that piece. It was called a lucky piece. A christening piece. You had to eat it, or the baby would not have been lucky. It was for the luck, and it was just an old Scottish custom." Liz Sprott also remembers this. She said, "As a 12-year-old, I was the recipient of a christening piece. I was coming out of the local paper shop with the Sunday papers and was given a paper bag with cake and half a crown in it from the christening party on their way to church." Margaret Wood also said, "I had a christening piece ready when we walked to church with my own son in 1969. The first female we met was an old lady just off Easter Road, and she was very happy to take it. Cake and a coin." Finally, Christian Muir remembers that this was done all throughout Leith. She said, "My baby brother was carried to his christening in South Leith, and the christening piece was given to the first girl, a half-crown and 2 tea biscuits buttered and wrapped in grease-proof paper. My mother always put a silver coin under a baby's pillow, a Hansel, to bless both the giver and the baby." It may be that not every area in Scotland practiced this tradition. One of our visitors, Irene, sent us a memory that her father had of her own christening. She says, "My late dad told me about my christening piece, as he called it. He gave it to the first man he saw on my christening day. We lived in my mum's village, Macmary, 12 miles east of Edinburgh. The gentleman who got my piece had never heard of this, so next day he came to our house with a gift for me, and it was a beautiful dress. I'm 56 years old now, and still have that dress to this day, and it still looks like new, though a bit yellow. While growing up, that same gentleman always spoke to me. The villagers had never heard of a christening piece." Irene later lived in Devon for some time, and she said, "I did this in Devon to a new baby, and the baby's mum thought I was strange. She went home and told a senior family member, who told her it's a Scottish and it's for luck." Nan Courtney spoke with Margaret Bennett for her beautiful book about Scottish traditions from birth to death. Nan said that in Glasgow, at least, the custom was for a mother to ask her bridesmaid to be the godmother of her child. These photographs show a lucky baby Jacqueline with two godmothers, and they must have been the father's two sisters. It was the tradition for the godparents to carry the baby to and from the church and over the threshold of the church on the day the baby was christened. And as Nan said, it was the godmother who often made up the christening piece, and it was she who gave it away on the walk to the church. What other duties did the godparents have? Is it still customary to choose a godparent for babies today? Several of our visitors remember the honor of being asked to be a godparent. Evelyn Muir sent us this delightful photo, which she must have taken herself, as she's not in it, but it shows her godson Malcolm and his parents. She says, "Not having children of my own, I was thrilled to have been asked to be a godmother to Malcolm. Ada and Eric were the nicest couple I had ever known. At the time of the photo, they had a house in the country. It went with the job, as Eric worked long and hard hours as a farmer's labourer. I see my mum has her handkerchief pinned with a brooch on her dress. I had forgotten she did that." Lee Purvis sent us this charming image of him as a camera-shy wean, held by his father and his Auntie Chrissy, who was his godmother. The photo was taken in the garden of his granny's house. Many of our visitors to the museum or to our Facebook page mention that these traditions are practiced less and less, which may be true of many traditions in modern life. Perhaps these are being replaced by new ones. One here in Scotland is the baby box. Beginning in 2017, the Scottish Government gives each new family a beautifully designed box full of all the items that the baby will need for their first months of life. What's more, the box includes a mattress and fitted sheets, and it can be used as a wee baby bed for the first few months. This is helpful for those of us who aren't as organised with buying a crib in time for the baby's arrival. Something very special that also comes with each box is a copy of a poem by the Scottish Makar, Jackie Kay. Here is Jackie reading the poem herself.
Welcome, wee one. Oh, my darling wee one, at last you're here in the world, and with all your wisdom, your een bright as the stars. You've filled this house with licht, your trusty wee hon, your glow ahead, my cherished gin, my heart's ain. Oh, my darling wee one, the whole world welcomes ye. The moon glows, the hearth warms, let your life hae luck, health, charm. Ye are my bonny, blessed bairn, my small, miraculous gift. I never kent love like this.
Have we forgotten to mention any christening traditions that you remember? Tell us about your family traditions or memories in the comments below, or visit our Facebook, Twitter, or Instagram pages. Goodbye for now, and thank you for your virtual visit today.